What's up YouTube fragrance family, Tommy with Studio Sense here with another video that I look forward to doing every single year. That's right, it is my top 10 pick video of the fall fragrance 2021. I'm super excited to dig into this list today and kind of show you guys my favorite fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing most. So after this brief and typical introductory role, we're going to jump right into our top 10 fragrances, the designer edition for fall 2021. That and more, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone, and welcome to today's top 10 fall fragrances of 2021, the fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing most. I've actually kind of dipped into these already and started wearing them a little bit. I think cooler weather gives us a lot more offerings in terms of fragrance as opposed to maybe just your typical freshy, your Hesperidic, citric, or aquatic fragrances that are typical for summertime. I really enjoy cool weather fragrances and I can't wait to dig into this list with you guys. So let's go ahead and jump right in to our top 10 fall weather or autumn weather fragrances of 2021. We're going to do it, of course, from the back end to the front. So for our top 10 fragrances of fall 2021, our number 10 is a JPG fragrance. It is Jean-Paul Gaultier's Scandal Pour Homme. Scandal Pour Homme is a new release for 2021. It took me a little while to get acclimated to this scent profile, but I really like it because it offers something a little bit different than what you're typically used to for cooler weather. Scandal Pour Homme opens with an interesting mandarin orange and caramel note. Then it moves into a sweet, creamy tonka bean and finally rests on a spicy clary sage and a dry vetiver. You can definitely tell it's a Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance, though instead of getting that heavier lavender, you're getting a lot more clary sage in the base there. So for our number 10 fall fragrance of 2021, I've chosen Scandal Pour Homme by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Coming in at number 9 of my top 10 fall fragrances for 2021 is a boozy, leathery fragrance that people either seem to love or hate. It's a very galvanizing scent by the car manufacturer Bentley. It is Bentley for Men Intense. I love this fragrance. The car manufacturer Bentley wanted to create something that would put you in mind of the interior of a very luxury motor vehicle, such as one of their Bentleys. I think it does a fantastic job of doing that. Leather, rum, labdanum, clary sage, cinnamon, nutmeg. This is a cornucopia of cooler weather or fall weather notes that are perfect. Performance is great with this fragrance, and that's why it's my number 10 out of my top 10 fall fragrances for 2021. Bentley for Men Intense. Who doesn't like the aromatic, rich, dark, and pungent aroma of coffee in the morning? Really, for me, coffee anytime. Well, I love coffee and I love it in fragrance when it's done right. And our number 8 fragrance for fall, my top 10 fall fragrances of 2021, happens to be a Ralph Lauren fragrance in the Polo line of fragrances. It is Polo Red Extreme. I actually start wearing this fragrance in the cooler days of summer leading up to fall weather. So I'm actually wearing this one today. It's an amazing fragrance. Although there are likely other notes in Polo Red Extreme, it's pretty much a simple trifecta of blood orange, coffee bean, and darker ebony wood in the base. Extremely well-crafted, well-blended fragrance, goes with any scenario, whether it's casual or upscale, and that's why it's coming in at my number 8 designer scents for fall 2021. Ralph Lauren's Polo Red Extreme. Coming in at my number 7 is a Paco Rabanne fragrance from the Invictus line of fragrances. It is Invictus Victory. Invictus Victory was released earlier this year, so it is a 2021 scent, and while it's relatively new, I gave it a ton of wear when it first came out. I love this scent. I really dig it. It opens with lemon and pink pepper. In the heart, you've got frankincense and lavender resting on a base of amber, vanilla, and patchouli. Very well performing fragrance. I get about 7 to 8 hours out of this, and it's well defined and refined, and that's why Invictus Victory is taking my number 7 spot of top fall fragrances 2021. Coming in at my number 6 is a fragrance that, while there are 5 flankers strong, including the OG, I still stick by this one as my favorite. It is an Emporio Armani fragrance. It is Stronger With You Intensely. What kind of fall would it be if we didn't include gourmand in our fragrance rotation? I think this is a perfect gourmand fragrance. Pink pepper, juniper, violet, lavender, sage, cinnamon, toffee. That toffee really makes this fragrance, along of course with the sweet, creamy tonka bean that's in there and that warm, inviting amber. Again, one of the best gourmand fragrances for men that's come out in the last decade. decade, Emporio Armani's Stronger With You Intensely, locking down that number 6 spot. Alright guys, we're down to our halfway point. We have 5 fragrances to go. Heading into number 5 territory is a fragrance that came out a little bit less than a year ago. Came out in 2020. It is a Givenchy fragrance in the Gentleman line of fragrances. It is Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum BOISÉE. It is a wonderfully woody, smoky, aromatic, cool weather fragrance. Now this is not only a great transitional fragrance for fall, but it's also an exceptional wintertime fragrance. It's got a nice powdery lightness about it, but it's got like a campfire darkness, like a smoke in the background. Of course, that gentleman iris note is prominent, as is the cacao. You've got cedar, and again in the base there's that wood smoke that becomes the backbone of the dry down and makes it so dry and so pleasant of a winter fragrance or cool weather fragrance. And that's why it's my number 5. Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum BOISÉE. Coming in at my number 4 spot, from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo, it is Uomo Signature. The performance of this fragrance qualifies it for a wintertime banger. It's also an epic fall or transitional fragrance. Because I have relied so heavily on this fragrance in the past, and I do rely on it, that should tell you something about the quality of the scent. The best notes about this fragrance are cinnamon, leather, tonka bean, and coffee. This is absolutely one of the best dark, rich, creamy transitional fragrances from warm weather to cool weather that you could get your hands on for the cost. It is very inexpensive. Uomo Signature by Salvatore Ferragamo belongs in every man's cologne rotation for cool weather, and that's why it's my number 4 spot. Alright everyone, we are down to the wire. My number 3 fragrance for fall 2021 actually kind of surprised me. I'll put it to you this way, I've only worn it twice, and both times I literally got compliments within the first hour of wearing it. So I'm looking forward to wearing it a lot more this fall. It is Azzaro's The Most Wanted. When I first tried The Most Wanted, and if you go back and watch my first impressions, which I'll leave above me here if you're interested in watching that, I'm not super overwhelmed by the fragrance. I like it, and you can definitely tell that wanted DNA is there. You know, wanted by night. Azzaro's The Most Wanted opens with green cardamom, so you get this alternatively green and spicy. Then it moves into a creamy, rich toffee, but almost like a burnt toffee. You know, right when it's starting to burn, it gets a little bit darker and almost smoky. That's in the heart of the fragrance. And then the base is a combination of bourbon vanilla, vetiver, and amberwood. Excellent gourmand fragrance that belongs on every guy's shelf in my estimation, and that's why it's my number 3, Azzaro's The Most Wanted. Fall weather brings to mind not only falling leaves, changeable colors, transitions, but also apples, apple orchards, apple bobbing. Thanks to Giorgio Armani, it was easy to pick my number 2 in his Armani Code line of fragrances. It is Armani Code Absolu Gold. Armani Code Absolu is an epic scent. Absolu Gold is just a bit more refined. This opens with apple and orange. You've got iris, you've got a little bit of leather, some other spices in the heart, no doubt cinnamon, nutmeg. It's resting on a base of tonka bean absolute. You've got cedar wood, you've got guaiac wood. It's got a really nice, lightly smoky, woody background, but again, it's a little bit brighter, fantastic performing fragrance, and that's why it's my number 2 top fall fragrance for 2021 Designer Edition. Armani Code Absolu Gold. Alright guys, my number 1 fragrance for fall 2021 Designer Edition is really 3 fragrances in one. The fragrance, of course, that I'm referring to is by Christian Dior. It is Dior Sauvage Elixir. Of course, it's not been out for very long. It's a new 2021 release, but I've worn it almost daily since and gotten to know it really, really well. It is such a dense, rich, aromatic fragrance, and again, it's very changeable. It's a perfect cool weather candidate as it opens up with a little bit of grapefruit, but mostly you get cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom. It's got a heart of rich AOP lavender, resting on a base of sandalwood, licorice, patchouli, vetiver, and of course, amber. It's like a dark, rich, syrupy evergreen when it first comes out. Then it moves into a heart of nice licorice lavender mix. It's very, very modern smelling. Some of the other notes start blossoming and coming to the fore, and it smells very much like a masculine, mature throwback fragrance, like a Dracar Noir mixed with the best of your name your favorite barbershop fragrance. That's kind of where it goes, where it dries down. It's funny because my wife loves the open and the heart of this, but she doesn't like the dry down at all. That should tell you how changeable the fragrance is, and one reason why I like it, and probably the biggest reason that it's included in this list as the #1 fragrance for fall 2021. That wraps up my top 10 fragrances for fall 2021. How did it compare to your list? Let me know in the comments below if you've got experience with any of these fragrances, and let me know what you feel like should have been included in this list, or what your favorite fragrances that you're looking forward to wearing. I always enjoy seeing your comments. Guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out today's video, and as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.